What's going on, everybody? Back here for another video. I'm hoping you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I'm gonna do I want to do like the truth on smokeless tobacco, because this generation is just thinking smokeless tobacco you can get mouth cancer and all that. Um, I've noticed. I know a lot of people that did smokeless tobacco and never got mouth cancer. You can get mouth cancer from a whole bunch of stuff. So stay tuned and hope you guys enjoy this video.
I've been doing research on tobacco products for about 24 years now. I started out as an oral pathologist, which is fancy. Basically, we're all about diseases of the mouth that don't involve cavities and gum disease.
Gotcha.
And so I consider myself an expert with mouth cancer. And it turns out I was teaching my students, and I had been taught that smokeless tobacco is a death sentence for mouth cancer.
Right.
So after 15 years or so, I'm starting to think, you know what? I'm not seeing chewers and dippers down in Birmingham, Alabama, where I was in practice at University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Right.
I'm not seeing chewers and dippers come in with mouth cancer. So I started to question how I'd been taught that and why I was teaching that. And it turns out that I had it all wrong. In fact, Americans have been totally misinformed about chewing and dipping and mouth cancer.
Right.
It turns out the risks are low to non-existent for chewers and dippers.
And you wrote a book called...
And I wrote a book in '94 called How Smokeless Tobacco Can Save Your Life, for smokers only.
Right.
That is, if you're a smoker and you're inhaling all those carcinogens, you need to consider switching to a vastly safer product called smokeless tobacco. That's dip and chew.
Right. And now, smokeless tobacco back in the day, like when in the 90s, early 2000s, it was they were allowed to advertise. It was advertised as a safer alternative. Was it ever?
No.
But I remember it was advertised. It was advertised on NASCAR, bull riding, stuff
Yeah.
like that, but it was allowed to be advertised. But now all that's gone.
Yes.
And now it's treated just as bad as cigarettes, pretty much.
Exactly. The 1998 Master Settlement got rid of all advertisements.
Okay.
Now, they never were allowed to advertise that they were safer than smoking.
Okay.
In fact, the FDA warning on every fourth tobacco product, and chewers and dippers know this, is that this product is not a safe alternative.
Right.
That's nonsense.
Right.
But that's what the FDA and federal government have told them they have to put on those products.
So that warning labels came in what, 2010, 2011?
Oh no, warning labels came in 1986.
Or no, excuse me, on the dip cans.
Yeah, on the dip cans. They've been on those products forever.
Were they on the?
They were smaller back then.
They were smaller.
Oh, they were smaller.
Yeah.
When the FDA came in, they said you've got to up the size.
Right.
Now you got to make it almost all of the can.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's
they've
what we're gonna
always
do.
been there.
That's crazy. So, I guess speaking of warning labels right now, here's a thing that I had a problem with, and that I couldn't even believe when I did the video. But I did a video. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was on the article that we're going to talk about that the American Cancer Society came out. And I bought a pack of cigarettes to kind of show the differences and just kind of hold it up and show the dip and stuff like that. But when I bought the pack, I think it was a Marlboro Red pack, it had like no warning label on it. It had a tiny Surgeon General warning on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it wasn't 30% of the packaging whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I saw it on, and then I went back and I was like, I saw it, there was no, like when you're looking at the cigarettes at a gas station or something, you don't see the warning label like you do on smokeless tobacco. And obviously everybody knows that the number one amount of cancer in the country is cigarettes, and you don't even see it on the cigarette packaging.
The FDA knew the smokeless tobacco warnings were wrong and inaccurate.
Right.
So what they do? They made them bigger. I mean, it's just insanity what people are doing to smokeless tobacco.
I don't understand why there's, if it has to be over 30% or whatever it is of the actual tobacco can, why they're not on cigarettes, like 30%. Because the only one that I saw was the little one on the actual, it wasn't even on there's the shrink wrap on the edge of it. And so when you have the shrink wrap, you take that off, and then there's no warning label at all. And there was just a short warning label on the shrink wrap. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know. But now I've read your book, and Darcy's obviously read your book, but a lot of people out there haven't. What's the main kind of takeaway with cigarettes versus smokeless tobacco?
The main takeaway is when you're smoking, you're burning tobacco and creating 6,000 chemicals. Those are the ones that over a career of smoking are beating away at your body. It takes time, it takes a couple decades, but you're still doing yourself a lot of damage if you're burning tobacco and inhaling smoke.
Right.
Name me anything that you burn that you don't create a lot of garbage.
Right.
Okay? With smokeless tobacco, with dip and chew products, there's no burning.
Right.
So they're vastly safer.
Right.
From the get-go.
And that was going to bring me to my next point. So have you heard of, I'm sure you've heard of it, but with Swedish snus and stuff, they use a method called pasteurization.
Yeah.
And then with American tobacco, they use fermentation, I believe.
Yes.
And so now with fermentation, it's kind of smoking to age the tobacco leaves rather than, I guess, what would be called steaming with pasteurization almost. And they say that pasteurization in Swedish snus is a little bit healthier because they're not really burning it, but I guess you're not really burning it with fermentation either. Have you done any research on that? And
Absolutely. The Swedish products have lower levels of contaminants. Okay, but the contaminants in American products are already so low that a minor change in parts per million contaminants.
Yeah.
Okay, when you translate it to people using them, you don't see any differences.
Yeah.
So the epidemiology, which is what we rely on for talking about what it actually affects people, there's very little difference. Are Swedish products a little bit lower in contaminants? Yes. But does it translate to anything that's meaningful for dippers and chewers? Not really. If you like Swedish products, if you enjoy the flavors, enjoy Swedish products, by all means go ahead. But it's not necessary to switch from Swedish products from American to Swedish products to have a lot of health benefits.
Now,
Okay. If you guys liked that video, if you guys have any, can't remember what I was gonna say. That person that was in the video, that was Outlaw, and then the older guy his name is Dr. Radu. He's a scientist for smokeless tobacco. Like he said, he's been doing this for 30 something years. So I will put a picture up into this video. I'll have a picture of the smokeless tobacco, the book that he wrote, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe and leave a comment down below what you guys think of this video. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.